Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into the wacky adventure of three old-timers who stumbled upon a golden opportunity, only to find out that the factory decided to cancel everyone. Like popcorn, things blew up. Old Joe and others relied on pensions for survival. Without their pensions, they felt like a ship without a rudder, lost in the vast ocean of life. Facing this dilemma, Old Joe suggested, for the sake of everyone's future, they might as well drag the factory to court to resolve the matter. Willie chimed in that legal processes take time, and by the time they got their compensation, they'd probably be fertilizing daisies. The factory knew they couldn't afford to wait, which left the old-timers with no choice but to put their retirement dreams on the back burner. Turns out Willie had been diagnosed with kidney failure ages ago, and while dialysis used to help, now he had to work extra hard just to survive. But he never shared this with his family. Meanwhile, Bert was just getting by teaching saxophone. His biggest admirer was actually the grandmother of a little girl, and Bert played coy about it mostly because his wallet was as empty as his love life. As for Old Joe, he was the tragic hero, receiving a dire red alert letter from the bank. Willie and Bert might still have other options, but Old Joe had reached the end of the line. During lunch, he finally spilled the beans on his entrepreneurial idea. He mustered up his courage to reveal his entrepreneurial plan. But to his surprise, both of his brothers thought he was merely kidding around. But out of the blue, Old Joe pulled out that ominous red bank envelope, leaving his friends in shock. His brothers were completely stunned. It was like something straight out of a drama, making conversation utterly embarrassing. Old Joe said the bank was about to take his house in 30 days. Better to act than to sit and wait. If they succeeded, they could even buy a 2-bedroom apartment and live like kings. If they failed and got caught, hey, it'd be like a free youth hostel, with meals included. Other criminals usually don't mess with old folks. Robbing a bank is just a bonus. Listening to Old Joe's analysis was ridiculous logic, and coincidentally, it was Willie's birthday today. They never had outrageous wishes, so why not go big and take a daring leap this time? That night, Old Joe couldn't sleep. It was phone time with Willie to discuss their bank heist plan. After all, communication is key in a startup, but Bert thought they were just a pair of jokers. He didn't want to argue, but he couldn't resist Old Joe's persuasion. Soon, the senior heist crew was officially formed. The dream was turning into reality. However, robbing a bank wasn't as easy as it sounded, so they decided to start with a little test run. Old Joe and Willie headed to rob a supermarket while Bert waited outside for action, a trial run of their heist training. Old Joe had no plan. He was shoving anything he could grab into his pockets, while Willie was just scooping up his favorite snacks. Turns out these two had zero skills in the supermarket heist, and Bert outside was dying of boredom. To kill time, he wandered into the supermarket, right into the arms of Annie, who was on duty. Seeing her favorite old man shopping, Annie became a star salesperson, leaving Bert feeling super awkward. When he saw the guys nearing their finish, he rushed to find an excuse to leave. But Willie had already made a guess. He stomached the meat as he reached the car, only to find it empty. Where'd everyone go? Moments later, Old Joe dashed out. He quickly spotted that Bert's car was missing, so he decided to borrow an old lady's ride. Riding his little cart with speed, Old Joe quickly overtook Willie, gesturing for him to take a seat in the front basket, ready to stage an exhilarating chase scene. Meanwhile, Old Joe and Willie, cruising at a blistering 20 mph, were ready for an epic showdown with baby formula. Old Joe exclaimed loudly, "We're determined to battle it out. We absolutely must fight." Whoa, just a moment. You guys aren't seriously going to fight, are you? And just like that, the three misfits found themselves locked in a little room, a total comedy of errors. The manager bluntly told them this was not a project for their age. After all, they'd never had a meat budget like that. "Where is your uncle's place located? Did you happen to steal anything?" The manager looked at the three old-timers and patted them on the shoulders, handing them some discount coupons. "So no stealing, that's just wrong. Listen, if you must steal, at least don't take from Value Town. As they left the supermarket, Bert blew up, stewing over how he wasn't even involved but got the third degree. He hit the gas and sped out of the parking lot, leaving his two buddies realizing they might be a little over their heads trying to rob a bank. So, old Joe decided to leverage his decades of connections and head with Willie to meet his ex-son-in-law. I hope you can help me. What kind of project? No, I'm not talking about that. We need some folks who've done bad things. Do you think I know those kinds of people? I think your people are in the same circle as mine. No, as in down and out. Morphis felt a wave of despair washing over him. Divorcing old Joe's daughter makes you one of the dregs. What can you complain about? But being the ex-father-in-law, he felt he had to help out, and following Morpheus' lead, they set off on their crazy journey the very next day. Right outside a pet store, old Joe got straight to the point. The three of them were going to rob a bank and they needed some professional training. I hope you all continue to stay tuned with us. And don't forget to subscribe.